you had the number 9 after party last night. Like I said, it's like 2:30 right now. It's kind of early. I figured you might still be in bed for the interview, but you made it.
I mean, like, I would like to be in bed, but look,
Yeah.
you had me out here.
Yeah,
so.
well, we appreciate you having you. So, but let's talk about the Lolla set then. Like, how was that experience? You closed down the Tiesto stage, like, during the sunset, so how was it?
That was just the most beautiful slot time in
Yeah.
the entire world. The first year I came to Lollapalooza, I was watching Millennium at sunset, the Perry stage, and I was just blown away. I was like, this would be a dream come true to be able to do anything even close to this. I wasn't DJing at all at the time, but I wanted to learn, and I attended Lolla, I saw Zedd and Millennium, and I was just like, wow, like, this is amazing. And that's how it was for like every festival I went to. I'm from Vegas, so I started going to EDC when I was like 18.
Okay.
And I don't know, to be able to like attend so many festivals and then get to know the DJs, and now be able to play those festivals is super surreal for me.
Yeah. So you went to a lot of festivals growing up before you were a DJ.
Yeah.
It was part of like what you did for fun.
Rave girl. Like whatever you want to imagine
yeah.
that is, like I definitely did that whole phase.
Okay.
Which is why I also have like a love for it, because from like a consumer standpoint and an artist standpoint, I think that festivals are like the place to listen to EDM music. Like of course you can listen to it in your car, you can listen to it in a studio, but it's meant to be enjoyed around a bunch of people. So festivals are really special to me.
For sure. And like, did you have a moment when you saw Millennium here, or was it kind of just like a collective, like all your festival experiences? Did you have like a moment where you were like at Lollapalooza, like I want to do this? Like when did you feel that?
I felt that at pretty much every festival I went to, but specifically Zedd was playing on the Perry stage as well when I came here the first time, and that was a moment for me because I was side stage, and I was just like, this is nuts. Like when you actually get to stand behind the DJ booth and see like what that looks like from that perspective, it is crazy. Like there's no other genre of music that has that much crowd control in my opinion.
For sure.
The energy is just next level.
Yeah, and you talked about Zedd. I saw you had a picture with him on Instagram, and you opened for him before.
That sounds great. We've now gotten to know each other, and I've gotten to open for him quite a few times in Vegas. He's super talented, one of the smartest guys ever.
Yeah.
I also really like Blau was a huge mentor for me. So I lived in Vegas. He lived there as well. He actually gave me my first pair of CDJs.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Really cool. He's very forward in like the NFT, like crypto space as well. He's a very smart guy. It's incredible to work around so many like very talented people.
For sure. Talking about crypto, are you into that stuff too? Because they have a lot of presence here.
At some point, it was like I had to. I always like to stay educated on it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm like super into it. Definitely have some Ethereum. Definitely am sad because it's not a good time for crypto right now.
Well, now you gotta buy more, right? I think so too. Yeah. But talking about Lolla a little bit more, considering like yesterday you were playing right before Kygo, he was on the opposite side of the field. So a lot of people were hearing your music for the first time. So like, what kind of set did you play yesterday?
So I, for the love of God, cannot pick between house music and trap music. I love both, so I played both. But for me, it's not really about the genre. It's more just about like the tonality of the music. I'm very specific about that. So I just try to play music that makes people feel something, that makes them want to move. I did trap at the beginning of my set, and then moved into house music and played a bunch of my original songs, which was really cool. It's amazing to be able to play things that I worked, months and years on for so many people and see them respond so like beautifully to it. But yeah, I honestly just I had a 45-minute set. Hopefully next year I would love to do a longer one, but in that 45 minutes I just wanted to get everyone hyped up as much as I could. So I had a good time, had my friends out on the stage, my team, my family, everyone was there to support. So it was also one of my best friends who he just passed away a couple months ago. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh wow, okay.
We were originally going to celebrate it here, so it was a
kind of bittersweet,
personal moment for me, but yes, very bittersweet, very meaningful thing for me. So I was just trying to be present and enjoy. I wasn't nervous because I've been playing a lot the past year, so it just felt like I was like ready, which is a really good feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure he was with you.
Yes.
Yeah. But speaking of all those shows, like, what do you love most about performing, whether it be at festivals or clubs? What do you love most about connecting with the crowd?
It's that crowd control. It's really cool, like, regardless of gender, ethnicity, where you come from. Music is something that unites everyone, and that's my favorite part about it. It's just seeing people from all walks of life. Like, of course, you can sit down and have a conversation, and, like, those things can happen after the fact, but when you, like, connect just off of a vibe and, like, energy, I think it's really special. I've made a lot of really close friends in my life through more like
we all have music that unites us all, right?
Exactly.
We all have that in common. But playing in Vegas so much, you're a Zouk Group resident, and you've opened for Tiesto, Zedd, Calvin Harris, and you grew up in Vegas, like you said. So what does it mean to like have that presence in that city and be successful there?
Vegas is a special place. It's crazy. I love it. Growing up there, it was really special getting that residency because it was a huge deal. Just locally, it was funny. Like I ended up in like the newspaper and like all these like local Vegas outlets that I grew up looking at, and then being able to perform around some of the best people in the world. It's cool to merge the two worlds together. My family lives there.
Yeah.
So typically, they don't really get to come to a lot of my shows. They try to make it out, but it's a crazy, hectic life. I'm the oldest of 5 kids.
Okay.
So I have 4 younger brothers.
Okay.
And the one beneath me just turned 21. So basically, I don't know. With all these shows, I just try to bring all my peeps out. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
It's a family affair.
Exactly. I catch my grandma at my sets in Vegas. Like literally every single Zouker I usually see her. Just
Every one, almost
literally
one.
almost every single one.
That's awesome.
She's a vibe. She's crushing it.
She likes the music?
Yes, she does. There were so many years of me doing this, especially social media. It was very taboo, It's really cool when everyone starts to come around and understand what you're trying to do. Because I get how DJing and like nightlife isn't for everyone. It can be a lot. But it's cool to see everyone change their minds to like
for sure.
Yeah.
It can be kind of taboo, like you said. They don't really get it until they actually have the experience.
Yeah.
And then it all makes sense. It's like, wow, this is really fun. It's good to like hang out with people, meet people that way.
Yep. And bringing people to festivals too. Then they're like, wow, this is amazing. Like,
yeah, I want to do this again.
So many people still haven't been to a festival. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But talking about your background, so I read that you were homeless at a young age. You left the Mormon church.
Yes.
You had a track scholarship in college, but decided to pursue the DJ and model career instead. So that's a pretty amazing story. So like, is that kind of surreal, like having that whole like background and like seeing yourself on a big stage of the festival now? Like, what is that like?
It feels like a different life.
Okay.
For me, for sure.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was LDS my whole life, and me and my family parted ways when I was like 4 months before my senior year of high school ended.
Okay.
And I was homeless for a while, and it was a huge shift going from what other people wanted me to do, going into what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Especially to do that at such like a young age, like 18, to step away from everything that I've been raised with, to do something different. I don't know why or what inside of me told me to do that, but I just had so much drive and so much energy, and like I just try to carry that youth on through me still, of like believing like you can do literally anything you want to do. If you have a dream, like go do it. There's so many people that I know for sure didn't see me here at all.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that I grew up.
Okay.
I was the prude Mormon girl that didn't do. I literally would correct, like if people swore in front of me, I would literally correct them and be like, hey, like can you not cuss in front of me? Like that's how closed-minded my upbringing was. So to like step away from that and like pretty much everything I do is the opposite now. So it's cool to have both though, because I appreciate both. I understand that lifestyle, and I would love to like I don't know. I try to live a healthy, like a lot of the morals and values that I have came from growing up that way.
Yeah.
So I love the Mormon religion. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Does it fit with my lifestyle right now? Absolutely not. But I still like. I just love and respect everyone. I have a lot of perspective. I feel like just because of what I've been through. So I don't really judge anyone. Just as long as you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah.
You're treat others with respect.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a long process though. You said like it was taboo and you were starting like a whole different life. So you
I
also
lost a lot of the people that I grew up with. Like I just didn't see them for years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did come back around recently, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's expected, I guess, huh?
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's out of the place of like. I don't know. It's not out of the place of anything negative.
Yeah.
I just try to appreciate the fact that they are even coming back. It's nice to see everyone again. Like I said, everyone comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. But like that whole process of like switching to this career, I know you talk about like mental health and how that's important. So I'm sure there was some times where it was pretty tough for you to like get through that. So like what kept you going through all that work and all that like work behind the scenes to get to where you are today?
Honestly, it was the friends, like the newfound friends and people.
Yeah, the connections you make along the way.
Yes. My team and the friends that I've made over the years by doing this job, like obviously I'm way more passionate about, like I loved running track. It was amazing. I was really good at it, but I wasn't super passionate about it. Same thing with everything else I was going to do. So now, I obviously, it was very hard hard for a good half year there because I was just in a completely different world I'd never been in. I went through some really shitty things, but that's just part of growing up. And it was the people who did believe in me, who, when I would talk to them about wanting to DJ or when I would talk to them about wanting to model, they were like, yeah, like, of course, like, you can do that, that's amazing. And they helped me, and, I mean, I could go down the list of people. I still try to stay in contact with everyone who's helped me along the way, because just even, like, believing in someone, like, telling someone, like, yes, you can do that, is, it's huge. And just in my, at least, like, my personal family setting, like, that just wasn't the situation. So
I understand that.
I found family through friends. And a lot of those people are still a part of my life. And people come and go, especially with how busy I am now. I just, like I said, I would love to like hang out with my friends 24/7 and just kick it. I feel like I did that for a long time, but specifically this past year and a half, I've just been on the go. Like, that's why I have my close friends, and I'm good with that. I go home, I hang out with my dog, and the family that I've made where I'm at, and I'm really happy with all of that.
Nice. So talking about your new songs or your original tracks like Innerbloom, that was the first time you used your own lyrics and you sang on the track. So what was it like making that song and like really putting yourself out there and like singing for the first time on one of your songs?
I was really nervous. That took a year for me to put out because I was just like way overly critical of it. But as of the past 3 or 4 months, I've been making a lot of songs with my original vocals and songs that I've completely written myself. I haven't really released anything yet because again, I'm working on more of like a body of music that I would like to release instead of just doing singles.
Okay.
But it's very nerve-wracking. I guess like confidence-wise, it makes a huge difference. I've been, doing vocal coaching and writing a lot more, and I have my home studio, and I've just been practicing. Like I love putting out club songs like the house tracks that I've put out so far. Because it's, club bangers. Like I love like messing around with production and sitting down with my other friends who are incredibly talented at producing and just messing around with beats. But getting that message across that I want through my music and the lyrics is something that I'm working on right now. And something that everyone can expect to see a lot more of over the next year.
For sure. You said you want to like work on a bigger body of music. Do you have an album or an EP that you want to like release soon? Are you trying to do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
An album would be amazing. If I can find the time to do that, that's what I'm hopefully going to try and do. But an album would be the dream because I've put out a bunch of singles. So releasing right now I've kind of been genreless. It's been mostly house music. But like Innerbloom was like pop indie, and then No Sleep is deep house. Same thing with Soaker, and it's kind of been all over the place. But I kind of like it like that because I feel like then I can just the beauty about EDM music is you can like work with anyone, collab with anyone.
For sure.
So it doesn't have to be like, oh, you only have to do this type of music. You have to stick to like putting yourself in a box. Like I think like Diplo and Chainsmokers and like all those, like they've worked with so many different types of artists, and that would be my goal, is to be able to sit down with artists, other people that inspire me, and help help facilitate and write and make music that just gets people feeling.
Definitely. And you want to play everything too. Like whether you're at the club or the festival, it's nice to have that flexibility based on the crowd. I'm
a big trap and like house music is like what I bounce back and forth between the most.
For sure. Yeah. But you mentioned Soaker, and that kind of has like some hip hop vibes in it.
Yep. That is hip hop, EDM in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think makes that track special, and like how is it different from your other songs?
It's special because it was just really cool the way that it happened. It was basically like 3 of us, and we'd all met individually. Like it's me, A1, and then the producer on it, who is my friend Richard, and we all had worked together separately, but we'd never like all been in the same room together. And the track from him making the beat, me and A1 both heard the beat, and we're like, we both like this, we both want to be on this track. And he was like, hey, do you know this girl A1? I was like, yeah. Like, do you know this girl A1? And then we sat down, we got in the studio, we wrote the song out, recorded it, and it was kind of a quick process. It was just like 3 homies making a fun song, so that one was really fun. Innerbloom was definitely more thought out and like methodical, but Soaker is supposed to be like a fun summertime single. For sure. Yeah.
How are we on time? Are we good? A couple more questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to talk about your companies that you have.
Yes.
I didn't write the names down, but one's rolling papers, one's like jewelry.
Yes.
So how do you balance being an entrepreneur and being a DJ and a model? Like, how do you do all this?
Honestly, it's been pretty challenging, but it's just kind of about time management, which is something that, at the age of 23, sometimes I definitely have a hard time doing.
Yeah.
Especially with music, because this is like super all-consuming, like DJing and producing. Like that artistic mindset is like very like I get honed in on that.
Yeah.
But when I go home to LA, I just bought a house there, and I take that time during the week because I DJ on the weekends to just work on my businesses. Smoke Roses is organic rose petal joints.
Yep.
And our company was like the first company to make like sellable, smokable rose petal.
Okay.
So
rose
no
petals.
weed in
Got it. Okay.
But it's completely made out of intact rose petals. Which is, it's like plant-based smoking. So, and I have asthma, so I wanted to make like a healthy alternative to smoking just like bleached papers.
Yep.
We also make goji berry cones, and we're going to continue to release a bunch of other like lavender cones, chocolate cones, like those are all in the works. And it's just a passion project for me. I smoke a lot, and I link it back to mental health a lot. It's helped me with anxiety, and especially with how much I travel, like sleep and appetite and just everything. And then Beauty and Pain is my more like mental health focused brand, because I know not everybody smokes, and that's not always like what can work for everyone. Everyone's bodies are different, so I wanted to make a different product that could sort of symbolize that message. And this dagger that I have right here.
Okay.
And these earrings right here.
Cool.
So I made these earrings, and they're the shape of this tattoo. I got this tattoo like 3 years ago, and I used to struggle with self-harm when I was younger, and it's just it was a reminder I got on my wrist, as a reminder to not do that. And I wanted to translate it into the brand, and sort of the rose is supposed to be like the beauty and the growth from like the pain, and focusing on the positive during the negative times.
True.
And growing from your situations, and not becoming consumed or repeating the same stuff, kind of like breaking the cycle. So all the jewelry is just supposed to kind of like provoke and normalize the conversation of mental health.
What would you tell someone who's struggling with their mental health and like is struggling with following their dreams too? Like, what would you tell them? What do they need to focus on? What would help them? What do you think?
Comfortability is something that everyone struggles with. I think people are very scared of the unknown, but look, it's better to try and fail, and then try 1,000 more times and say that you put your all into something.
Yeah.
To just regret or wonder or think or think, oh, I should do this. Like, a lot of people won't make that leap. And it's that leap that starts everything. So for anyone that's struggling with anxiety or changing what they're doing, like, I know it feels like the end of the world. It's like, oh, if I don't do this, then this is going to happen. Or like you go through this whole thought process where you kind of start to spiral. Yeah. But just be present in that moment. And obviously have a plan. Like, I never want to ever...
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Never want to tell anyone to abandon what they're doing and just jump into something new. Yeah. Have a plan, do what you got to do, and everything always typically works out. Yeah. If you are, again, a good person, put your best foot forward, are kind to people, respect people in the industries that you want to get into, I feel like that's a big one. A lot of people just walk into things thinking that they're hot shit. With music, I come from the influencer background, so there was a lot of opportunities that I could have taken that I definitely didn't, because it just didn't feel like I actually earned that or deserved that. I think in the influencer space, that's actually a huge problem, where they just kind of get all these crazy opportunities without necessarily having to have any sort of background in that at all. So I got, from getting in the studio with people to getting offered different things, and the influencer side of stuff, I really tried to build this how it should be built, and not just taking stuff because I have the resources to. So with everyone, that's why I say have a plan, follow it, be consistent, and go after your dream, because you can literally fucking do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, I'll leave it at that.